And we've also got some bit of comments coming in from Subir Gokarn right now, who's talking about how underlying global economy is not encouraging at all. In fact, capital inflows at this point in time, he's talking about them being even more uncertain than they were in the 2003 to 2008 period. So that's not a very good picture that's been painted there. Do remember yesterday as well, we had comments coming in about how uncertain the global economy is, and maybe the worst is yet to come in FY13.
Comfortable 2.5% of GDP situation in 2008, partly, again, well, not partly, but well, I'd say partly as a result of our stimulus, but also because of some structural factors, particularly the adjustment of salaries, which was going to happen in 2008, regardless of what else was going on, to a much higher level of fiscal deficit. And that, of course, from the peak of about 6.5, it has been coming down, but the correction has been rather slow, and we ended 11-12 after having budgeted for 4.6% of GDP at 5.9% of GDP. The correction was there, but obviously not as large as was anticipated, and the main reason for that was the enormous size of subsidies. Now, this is all well known, so I don't want to spend too much time on the details of this. But the bottom line is that if we associate a low fiscal deficit to GDP ratio as a concomitant of sustained growth, then the sooner this corrects, the quicker it corrects, the faster it corrects, the better. And I think the commitment in the budget to go back to a rule-based fiscal policy in the form of reactivated FRBM is very important in this regard, because it does bring a degree of predictability and certainty about the government's fiscal capacity and how the numbers will play out, assuming that the rule is adhered to, which it was quite effectively, at least at some level, in the 2003-2008 period. So controlling subsidies through that to reducing the stress that is being imposed on the system by a large fiscal deficit is a critical part of that correction. Now, in terms of other sort of stress points, let me go through some of the other issues that we are dealing with. We know that growth is slowing down. In fact, today's numbers of on the index of industrial production, which came out to be negative for the month of March, just reinforces that basic tendency. And that is visible, whatever sort of, however you want to graph it, whether you take total GDP or just the industrial and services part, that post-crisis there has been a slowing down.